Have you ever felt overwhelmed by all the noise around you? The constant distractions, the endless to-do lists, the pressure to keep up with everything? Or have you found yourself spending so much time on things that don't even seem to matter in the long run? In a world full of distractions, how can we truly focus on what matters most? Imagine you're standing in the middle of a bustling street, surrounded by a crowd of people. Each person is moving quickly, rushing to get somewhere. Amidst the chaos, it's easy to forget why you're there in the first place. It's only when you pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself of your true purpose that you can find clarity again. This simple moment of reflection is the essence of focusing on what truly matters in life. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we explore powerful insights from Buddhism to help you create a life of focus, peace, and meaning. If you're tired of feeling lost in the noise of daily life, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're going to guide you through finding clarity amidst distractions, discovering what truly matters, and how to live in alignment with those values. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means so much and helps us continue bringing you valuable content that can transform your life. In the next few minutes, we'll dive into some simple yet profound ideas that can shift your perspective, allowing you to live a more focused and meaningful life. Stick around, and you'll walk away with powerful tools for a calmer, more purposeful life. Let's get started. Understanding the roots of distraction. The mind is like a pond. When it is calm, you can see the reflection of everything clearly. But when the wind blows, the surface ripples and the reflection becomes distorted. So it is with the mind. In moments of distraction, we lose our clarity, and it becomes difficult to see what truly matters. Why is it that we often lose our focus? Why does our mind wander so easily? To understand this, we must first look at the roots of distraction. In Buddhist teachings, we talk about the nature of the mind and how it can be easily swayed by desires, attachments, and the constant flow of thoughts. These are the winds that disturb the surface of our minds, preventing us from seeing clearly. One of the main causes of distraction is desire. We live in a world full of things we want. We want success, recognition, love, material possessions, and experiences. While these desires are not inherently bad, they often pull us in many different directions. We chase after one thing, then another, constantly trying to satisfy our ever-growing wants. The problem is, the more we chase, the more distracted we become. Our attention is scattered, and we lose focus on what truly matters. Consider the example of a person who constantly chases after wealth. They work long hours, sacrifice their health, and even neglect their relationships in the pursuit of more money. Yet, despite achieving their goal, they still feel empty. The desire for more keeps them moving, but they never truly find peace. This is because they are chasing something that, in the end, cannot bring lasting fulfillment. The pursuit of material wealth, when taken to extremes, becomes a distraction from deeper, more meaningful pursuits. Another source of distraction is attachment. When we become attached to something, we develop an emotional bond that clouds our judgment. This attachment may be to people, possessions, or even ideas. We become so fixated on these things that they begin to dominate our thoughts. We worry about losing them, where we spend all our energy trying to protect them. This attachment to things, both external and internal, leads us away from the present moment and keeps our focus from shifting to what truly matters. In Buddhist teachings, attachment is one of the key causes of suffering. We hold on to things that are impermanent, and in doing so, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Just as the wind disturbs the pond's surface, attachment disturbs the calmness of the mind. It clouds our ability to see what is truly important. Then, there is the mind's tendency to wander. The mind is rarely still. It is constantly jumping from one thought to the next, never satisfied with one thing for long. In moments of distraction, the mind shifts its attention from one thought to another, and before we know it, hours have passed, and we have done nothing that truly matters. This wandering mind is a major obstacle to focus. It prevents us from being present, and it prevents us from aligning our actions with our deepest values. Why does the mind wander? One reason is because we live in a world filled with distractions. Everywhere we go, there are things pulling at our attention. The constant presence of technology, social media, and other stimuli create an environment where our minds are trained to jump from one thing to the next. We are conditioned to seek instant gratification, and in doing so, we lose our ability to stay focused on what truly matters. However, the wandering mind is not just a result of external factors. It is also a reflection of our inner world. Our minds wander because we are unsettled inside. We may feel anxious, stressed, or overwhelmed. These inner disturbances create a restless mind that cannot settle. In these moments, it becomes even harder to focus on the things that truly matter, because the mind is preoccupied with worries and distractions. But there is hope. In Buddhism, we practice mindfulness, which is the art of bringing our attention to the present moment. Mindfulness allows us to recognize when our minds are wandering and gently guide them back to what is important. With regular practice, we can train our minds to focus and become less affected by distractions. Mindfulness is not just about focusing on the breath or a particular task. It is about being fully present in whatever you are doing, without judgment or distraction. Whether you are eating, walking, working, or simply sitting, mindfulness helps you stay grounded in the present moment. When you practice mindfulness, you begin to see the world more clearly. You begin to recognize what truly matters and what is simply a distraction. Another key factor in understanding the roots of distraction is the role of our emotions. Our emotions are like waves on the ocean. Sometimes they are calm and still, but other times they rise up, strong and overwhelming. When we are driven by emotions such as fear, anger, or frustration, our ability to focus becomes compromised. These emotions cloud our judgment and make it difficult to think clearly. In these moments, it is easy to get caught up in distractions and forget what is important. In Buddhism, we learn to work with our emotions rather than letting them control us. By developing awareness of our emotions, we can begin to understand them and respond with wisdom. This allows us to maintain clarity and focus even in the midst of emotional turbulence. When we are no longer ruled by our emotions, we can direct our energy towards what truly matters. Now, let us take a moment to reflect on the impact that distractions have on our lives. Think about the times when you have been caught up in something that did not truly matter. Perhaps you spent hours scrolling through social media, or you found yourself worrying about something that was outside of your control. In those moments, you may have felt a sense of emptiness or frustration. You may have even realized that you were wasting precious time on things that did not bring you closer to your true purpose. This is the power of distraction. It takes us away from the things that matter most and leads us to chase after fleeting desires and attachments. It keeps us trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction, constantly seeking more, but never finding true contentment. But when we understand the roots of distraction, we can begin to free ourselves from its grip. To truly focus on what matters, we must recognize the forces that pull us in different directions. We must learn to let go of the attachments and desires that keep us trapped in distraction. And we must cultivate a mind that is calm, clear, and focused, able to see what is truly important. This is not an easy task, but it is a worthwhile one. By understanding the roots of distraction, we can begin to make choices that align with our deeper values and lead us to a life of purpose and fulfillment. In the next part, we will explore the essence of mindfulness and how it can help us overcome distractions and focus on what truly matters. Stay with us, and let us continue this journey together. The essence of mindfulness in Buddhism. Imagine walking through a forest. You hear the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, and the distant sound of a flowing stream. As you walk, you feel the soft earth beneath your feet and the cool air brushing against your skin. Your mind is calm. In this moment, you are completely present. There is no past, no future, just the simple experience of being here, right now. This is the essence of mindfulness. It's the practice of being fully present in each moment, without judgment or distraction. In Buddhism, mindfulness is not just a technique. It is the foundation of a peaceful and focused life. It teaches us to experience the world with clarity and awareness, to see things as they truly are, not clouded by our thoughts or desires. Mindfulness is often misunderstood. Many think it's just about meditation or sitting still in silence. But in reality, mindfulness is something we can carry with us throughout the day, in everything we do. Whether we're eating, walking, talking, or even working, mindfulness is about being aware of the present moment, without letting our minds wander into the past or future. It's about paying attention, truly paying attention, to whatever is happening right now. In Buddhism, mindfulness is also known as sati, which means remembering or recollecting. It's the practice of remembering to be aware, to be conscious of what's going on inside and outside of us. It's about seeing the world clearly, without the filter of our biases or distractions. When we practice mindfulness, we begin to notice things we've never noticed before. The feeling of the wind on our face, the sound of a bird's song, the warmth of the sun. We start to appreciate life in its simplest form. But mindfulness goes deeper than just noticing things. It's also about understanding our reactions to them. When we experience something, our minds automatically judge it. This is good, that is bad, this is pleasant, that is unpleasant. These judgments shape how we feel and how we act. Mindfulness teaches us to observe these judgments without getting attached to them. Instead of reacting automatically, we begin to pause, reflect, and choose how to respond. We become more in control of our thoughts and emotions, rather than letting them control us. One of the key aspects of mindfulness in Buddhism is the practice of right mindfulness, which is part of the Eightfold Path. Right mindfulness is about cultivating awareness in all aspects of our lives. It's not just about focusing on the breath during meditation, but also about being mindful of our actions, words, and thoughts. Every moment becomes an opportunity to practice mindfulness, to align our actions with our deepest values, and to live more authentically. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Our minds are constantly pulled in different directions by technology, work, and social media. It's easy to lose track of what truly matters. But mindfulness allows us to slow down and reconnect with ourselves. It gives us the space to reflect on what is important and to let go of what no longer serves us. Take a moment now. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Feel the air filling your lungs. Notice the sensations in your body. Be aware of any thoughts that arise, but don't judge them. Just observe them and let them pass. This simple practice of breathing and being aware is the essence of mindfulness. It is the foundation for focusing on what truly matters. Mindfulness is not just about finding peace in the present moment. It is also about seeing clearly, about recognizing the impermanence of life. Everything in this world is constantly changing. The flowers bloom and wither, the seasons shift, and our lives evolve. Mindfulness helps us see this truth without fear or attachment. We learn to accept change, to embrace the flow of life, rather than resisting it. When we are mindful, we begin to understand the interconnectedness of all things. We see that everything is linked, that our actions affect the world around us. This awareness helps us live with greater compassion and understanding. It teaches us to treat others with kindness, because we recognize that we are all part of the same web of life. Every action we take, no matter how small, has an impact on the world. And when we live mindfully, we become more attuned to this impact, more aware of the choices we make. Mindfulness also helps us recognize the distractions that pull us away from what matters. Our minds are often consumed by worries about the future or regrets about the past. We chase after things that seem important: money, success, approval. But in the end, these things often leave us feeling empty. Mindfulness helps us let go of these attachments, teaching us that true fulfillment comes not from external things, but from within. It teaches us that happiness is not something we need to chase. It is something we can cultivate through awareness and acceptance. In Buddhism, there is a saying, "Wherever you go, there you are." This simple phrase reminds us that the present moment is all we ever have. No matter where we go or what we do, we carry ourselves with us. And if we are not mindful, we miss the beauty of the present moment. We miss the chance to live fully, to experience life in its richness and depth. So, how can we bring mindfulness into our daily lives? The first step is to simply start paying attention. Notice the sights, sounds, and sensations around you. Feel the texture of the world as you move through it. Pay attention to your breath, your body, and your thoughts. The next time you're eating, really taste the food. The next time you're talking to someone, really listen to them. The next time you're walking, feel the earth beneath your feet. These small acts of mindfulness can make a big difference in how we experience the world. As you continue to practice mindfulness, you'll begin to notice how much more present and focused you feel. You'll start to let go of distractions and find more clarity in your thoughts. You'll also begin to feel more connected to yourself and to others. Mindfulness has the power to transform your life, bringing you peace, purpose, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. The essence of mindfulness is simple. Be present. Pay attention. Live fully. It's not about doing more, but about doing less, but with more intention and awareness. It's about letting go of the distractions that cloud your mind and embracing the richness of the present moment. In the end, mindfulness is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a practice that you can continue to deepen for the rest of your life. And as you walk this path, you'll find that the more present you are, the more connected you feel to what truly matters. You'll begin to see the world in a new light, one that is clear, peaceful, and full of possibilities. Remember, mindfulness is not just something you do in quiet moments. It's something you bring with you into everything you do. It's a way of being, a way of living with awareness and presence. And as you cultivate this practice, you'll find that the distractions of life fade away, and what truly matters comes into sharp focus. Simplifying life, letting go of the non-essentials. In the world we live in, life often feels cluttered. We are surrounded by so many things: material possessions, responsibilities, social media updates, and endless demands on our time. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, do I really need all of this? What if we could strip away the unnecessary and focus only on what truly matters? Let me tell you something important. Life is much simpler than we often make it. We often think that we need to fill every moment with activity, every space with things, and every thought with worry. But this is just a way of avoiding stillness, avoiding the quiet, where we can truly hear what is important. The simplicity of life, the peace that lies within it, is often hidden beneath the weight of things we don't truly need. Imagine, for a moment, a tree standing alone in a field. Its branches may sway in the wind, but they are not burdened with excess. It grows in the direction that feels most natural, shedding leaves when the time comes, not holding on to what no longer serves it. That is the nature of life when we allow ourselves to simplify. We can learn much from the way nature operates. It does not clutter itself with unnecessary things. It allows life to unfold naturally, gracefully. In Buddhism, the idea of non-attachment is fundamental. Non-attachment does not mean we must give up everything or live in poverty. It means we stop clinging to things that no longer serve our true purpose. It means releasing the need to possess, control, or hold on to things that only cause us suffering. The Buddha taught that attachment leads to suffering, and by letting go of attachments, whether to objects, people, or even thoughts, we make space for peace. When we simplify our lives, we begin to see things more clearly. Think about a room filled with clutter. It's hard to find the things that matter when everything is piled up, but when we clean the room, suddenly it becomes clear what we need, what we love, and what is truly important. Our minds are the same way. When we let go of unnecessary worries, distractions, and possessions, our minds become clear, and we can focus on what matters. Let go of the idea that you need to do everything. In fact, the more you try to do, the less you end up accomplishing. Multitasking often leads to mistakes, stress, and a feeling of being overwhelmed. In Buddhism, there is a concept called right effort. Right effort means focusing your energy on what is truly worthwhile, what aligns with your values, and what leads to peace and happiness. It is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most with full attention and intention. So, how do we begin simplifying? It starts with asking ourselves a question. What is truly essential? Ask yourself, what do I need to live a peaceful, fulfilled life? It's not about possessions, status, or even the number of things we have to do. It's about the quality of our relationships, the time we spend in nature, the moments we spend in reflection, and the kindness we offer to others. In our modern world, the noise and distractions can easily drown out the stillness we need to hear our own hearts. We must make a conscious decision to turn off the distractions, to clear the clutter from our lives, and to create space for what truly matters. This means less time on social media, less focus on the opinions of others, and and less energy spent on things that do not bring us closer to our true selves. One of the most powerful ways to simplify life is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present in the moment, without distraction or judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we stop rushing from one task to another. We stop living on autopilot. Instead, we engage deeply with the present moment. We take time to listen, to feel, to observe, and to simply be. When we are mindful, we see clearly what is important and what is not. We begin to release the need for excess and focus on what brings us true contentment. This is not a practice that happens overnight. Simplifying life is a gradual process. It's about making small, mindful choices every day. It's about noticing when we are holding on to something that no longer serves us, whether it's a material object, a thought, or a belief, and choosing to let it go. As we let go, we also create space for something new. Just like the tree that sheds its leaves in autumn, we can let go of what weighs us down and make room for new growth. This new growth may come in the form of deeper relationships, more time spent doing what we love, or greater peace of mind. But it will only come if we are willing to simplify, to remove the unnecessary, and to make room for what truly matters. The practice of simplifying is not just about getting rid of things. It's about getting rid of the mental clutter that fills our minds. Our minds are often crowded with thoughts of past regrets, future worries, and fears about things that may never happen. But when we simplify, we create mental space for clarity, for peace, and for presence. We can stop the endless cycle of overthinking and begin to live more fully in the here and now. And remember, simplicity does not mean boredom. It does not mean a lack of creativity or joy. In fact, simplifying life often leads to greater freedom. When we let go of the need for excess, we find that we have more time, more energy, and more joy to spend on the things that truly matter. We are no longer weighed down by the pressure to accumulate more or do more. Instead, we can embrace the richness of the present moment and all the beauty it holds. In Buddhism, simplicity is a path to peace. It is the path of reducing the noise, clearing the clutter, and living with intention. By simplifying, we allow ourselves to experience life more fully and deeply. We remove the distractions that keep us from living in alignment with our values and begin to focus on what is truly important. So, ask yourself today, what can you let go of? What is no longer serving you? What can you remove from your life to make space for peace and focus? Remember, simplicity is not about deprivation. It's about finding freedom and letting go. When we clear away the non-essentials, we are left with the beauty of what truly matters. The power of intention and focus. In the quiet of the early morning, before the world awakens, there is a moment of stillness. A moment where you can feel the weight of the day yet to come, the potential of the actions that await you. This moment is a gift, a moment to choose. To choose what matters. To choose your intention. Intention is like a seed. It holds the potential to grow into something beautiful or something destructive. It all depends on what you choose to plant. When you start your day with clear intention, the rest of the day follows with purpose. It is not enough to simply move through the motions. If you want to live a life of focus, if you want to find peace amidst the chaos, you must first decide what you are here to do. Consider a river. A river moves, carrying water from one place to another. But the river does not rush aimlessly. It follows a path, shaped by the mountains and valleys around it. The direction of the river is not random. It has a purpose. Just like the river, when you align yourself with a clear intention, you flow through life with ease, guided by that purpose. But this is not as easy as it sounds, is it? In our busy world, distractions pull us in every direction. The phone buzzes, the emails pile up, the responsibilities multiply. All these things scream for your attention. Yet, if you let them, they will steal your focus. And when your focus is gone, so is your intention. You start to drift, like a boat without a rudder, unsure of where you're going. So, what can you do? The answer is simple. You must choose. You must decide what matters most in this moment and what is not. You must bring your attention back to the present, and from there, choose your next action. This is the power of intention. When your actions are guided by a clear, conscious choice, you are no longer tossed around by the distractions of the world. you begin to create a life that reflects your values, not the chaos around you. In Buddhism, there is a practice known as right intention. Right intention is not just about thinking the right thoughts. It is about directing your thoughts, your words, and your actions towards what is good, true, and peaceful. It's about choosing to live in a way that is in harmony with your deepest values, rather than reacting to the noise of the world. This is where true power lies. When your intentions are clear and rooted in wisdom, they guide you. They help you say no to distractions and yes to what truly matters. But, like any skill, this takes practice. You will find moments where your focus slips, where distractions pull you in. But do not be discouraged. This is the nature of the mind. It is not about perfection. It is about consistent practice. One powerful way to bring intention into your life is through daily reflection. At the beginning of each day, take a moment to ask yourself, what do I want to focus on today? What is most important? This simple question can set the tone for the entire day. And as you move through your day, keep returning to that question. Whenever you feel lost or distracted, come back to your intention. But intention alone is not enough. You also need focus. Intention without focus is like a car without fuel. You may have the best of intentions, but without the ability to concentrate your energy, your actions will not move you forward. Focus is the key to bringing your intention to life. Think of focus as the lens of a camera. Without the lens, the picture is blurry and unclear. With the lens in place, everything sharpens. Focus allows you to cut through the noise and zero in on what truly matters. It helps you see clearly, even in the midst of confusion. And just like a camera lens, focus requires effort. It requires you to turn your attention away from the distractions that cloud your mind, and to place your energy on what is truly important. In Buddhism, the practice of meditation is a way to train the mind to focus. Meditation teaches you to return your attention to a single point, whether it's your breath, a mantra, or a simple image. Every time your mind drifts, you gently bring it back. In this way, you train your mind to be more focused, more intentional. Over time, this practice begins to spill over into your daily life. You start to notice more clearly when your attention slips, and you gently guide it back to what matters. But focus is not just about concentration. It is also about knowing where to place your energy. In the modern world, we are often told to do everything, to be everywhere. But this is not the way of wisdom. The wise know that focus is about saying no to many things, so that you can say yes to what truly matters. It is about choosing a few things and giving them your full attention, rather than spreading yourself thin. One of the greatest challenges in life is discerning what truly matters. In a world filled with endless opportunities and distractions, it's easy to get lost in the noise. But the path to clarity begins with one simple question. What is the highest priority in my life right now? This question can guide your choices, help you prioritize your time, and bring your focus back to what truly matters. In Buddhism, this question is often framed as, what is the most important thing I can do for my well-being and the well-being of others? This is the foundation of right intention. When you approach life with this mindset, you begin to see that everything you do can be aligned with your highest purpose. Each action becomes an expression of your deepest values. The power of intention and focus is transformative. When you live with clear intention and focus, you begin to shape your life in the direction you desire. You no longer feel pulled in 1,000 directions. Instead, you feel grounded, centered, and at peace. You understand that every action you take is part of a larger, meaningful whole, and with each step, you move closer to the life you truly want to live. So, as you continue on your journey, remember this. Focus is not something you do in the moment. It is something you choose, something you bring into every part of your life. Whether you are working, resting, or simply being, your intention and focus shape your experience. They help you align with what is most important, and in doing so, they guide you to a life of peace, clarity, and fulfillment. Overcoming the noise, cultivating inner stillness. In a world filled with noise, both external and internal, how can one find stillness? How can we, with all the distractions pulling at us, truly listen to our own hearts and minds? In Buddhism, this quest for peace is called cultivating inner stillness. It's a practice that takes time, patience, and, above all, awareness. The first step in overcoming the noise around us is realizing that much of it is not as important as we think. There is an illusion in our minds that we must respond to every distraction, every demand, every thought. We feel as though we have to constantly be doing. But what if, for a moment, we stopped and just listened to the quiet? This is where true wisdom begins. Imagine you're sitting beside a calm, still lake. The water is perfectly clear, reflecting the sky above. Now, picture that same lake with stones being thrown into it, ripples spreading out, distorting the surface. The mind works in a similar way. When we allow ourselves to get caught up in every thought and feeling, it's as if we are throwing stones into the lake, creating disturbances that cloud the stillness. In Buddhist practice, the mind is often compared to water. When the mind is unsettled, it's like the surface of a turbulent lake, full of waves and ripples. When the mind is calm, it's like the water in the lake, clear, still, and reflective. But how do we calm this mind lake? How do we create the conditions for stillness? The answer lies in mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't just a meditation practice. It's a way of being present in each moment. It's about paying attention to what is happening right now, without getting lost in thoughts of the past or worries about the future. To begin cultivating inner stillness, we must first train ourselves to be fully aware of the present. Each moment, no matter how small, can become an opportunity to practice mindfulness. Start by observing your thoughts, just as you would watch clouds passing through the sky. Do you react to each cloud, each thought, with a rush of emotions and judgments? Or do you simply allow them to pass by, without attachment? The more you practice this non-reactive observation, the quieter your mind will become. Another powerful tool is deep breathing. When the noise around us becomes overwhelming, taking a few moments to focus on the breath can bring us back to the present moment. Breathe in slowly through your nose, filling your lungs completely, and then exhale gently. As you breathe, imagine that you are releasing the distractions and chaos around you. With every breath, you return to the stillness inside. But stillness is not just about creating silence. It's about finding peace even amid the noise. Life will always have its distractions. There will always be challenges, changes, and demands on your attention. But if you can learn to find stillness within yourself, then no matter what is happening around you, you will be able to maintain your focus. Think of a tree in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, the rain falls, and the branches sway. Yet, deep within the tree, its roots remain anchored, unaffected by the chaos above. In the same way, you can cultivate a deep inner peace, grounded in the present moment, that allows you to stay calm no matter the storms of life. So, how can we truly overcome the noise of daily life? First, by recognizing that not every thought, every task, and every distraction demands our attention. Second, by practicing mindfulness, being fully present in each moment, and observing our thoughts without attachment. Third, by focusing on our breath, bringing our awareness back to the here and now. And lastly, by remembering that inner stillness is not about escaping the world. It's about finding peace within it. The Buddhist teachings tell us that peace is not something we have to search for outside ourselves. It is already within us, waiting to be discovered. It is the natural state of our minds when we stop allowing the distractions of the world to control us. Just like a calm lake, the stillness within us is always there. It's only waiting for us to notice. As you go through your day, try to take moments to pause and return to this stillness. When the noise of the world starts to overwhelm you, close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and remember. The stillness you seek is always within you. You just need to remember to look inward. Overcoming the noise isn't about fighting it. It's about learning to be with it without getting lost in it. The more you practice cultivating inner stillness, the more you will find that the noise no longer has the same power over you. You will become like the lake, clear and calm, no matter what stones are thrown into it. Living with purpose, aligning actions with values. A long time ago, a student asked the Zen master, "How do I live a meaningful life?" The Zen master smiled and said, "If you walk with purpose, each step you take will have meaning. If you walk aimlessly, the path will never bring you peace." We often ask ourselves, what is the purpose of my life? Or, why do I do what I do? These are powerful questions, and they point us toward understanding what truly matters to us. But the answers don't come easily, and they require more than just thinking about them. We must align our actions with our values. To live with purpose, we need to reflect on what we care about most. These things are the values that guide us. For example, if you value kindness, then your actions should reflect that, helping others, being patient, and listening. If you value honesty, then your words and actions should always align with truth. If you value peace, then every decision you make should contribute to creating peace in your life and the lives of those around you. The problem is, many of us live in ways that don't align with our deepest values. We are often pulled in many directions by external pressures, work, social expectations, family demands, and personal desires. These distractions cloud our vision and pull us away from what truly matters. This is where mindfulness comes in. The practice of mindfulness helps us stay grounded in the present moment, making it easier to make choices that align with our true values. In each moment, we can ask ourselves, is this action in line with what I truly care about? If it is, we continue. If it isn't, we let go. The Zen master once said, "The path is clear to those who walk it with clarity." Walking with clarity means that we are fully aware of our values and our actions at all times. One way to align your actions with your values is to reflect daily on your purpose. Take a few moments in the morning to sit quietly, breathe, and ask yourself, what is most important to me today? It might be kindness, patience, gratitude, or learning. Whatever it is, allow it to guide your decisions. At the end of the day, look back and ask, did I live according to my values today? Did my actions reflect what is most important to me? This simple reflection helps to keep you on the path toward living with purpose. Another way is to simplify your life. We often think that having more things, more responsibilities, and more achievements will bring us fulfillment. But true fulfillment comes from living in alignment with your values, not from collecting external rewards. A Zen master once said, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." By focusing on what truly matters and letting go of distractions, we create space for purpose to flourish. There will be challenges along the way, of course. Life is not always easy, and living with purpose is a journey that requires patience and practice. Sometimes, we might be tempted to follow the crowd or do things just because everyone else is doing them. But the Zen master reminds us that the path is ours to walk, not anyone else's. If we try to walk someone else's path, we will only feel lost. When we live with purpose, we are constantly reminded that we are not just living for ourselves, but for something greater. Our purpose connects us to the world around us. Whether we realize it or not, the way we live affects others. If we are kind, others feel kindness. If we are honest, others learn to trust. If we are peaceful, the world becomes a little more peaceful. Each action, no matter how small, ripples out into the world and creates change. Sometimes, we might feel uncertain about our purpose. In those moments, it is helpful to step back and ask ourselves, what is my intention in this moment? In every situation, we can check in with our heart. Does this action serve my higher purpose? Is this action aligned with my deepest values? The answer might not always be clear at first, but with practice, we will become more attuned to what truly matters. Living with purpose is not about achieving a specific goal or becoming someone we are not. It is about becoming more fully who we already are. It is about uncovering our true nature and letting it guide us through life. The Zen master often said, "You already possess everything you need. You just need to realize it." When we connect with our true self, everything we do is filled with meaning and purpose. One powerful practice to help align our actions with our values is meditation. Through meditation, we create a space of stillness within. In this quiet space, we can listen to the wisdom of our hearts. Meditation helps us tune in to our inner guidance, so we can move through life with clarity and focus. When we meditate regularly, we become less influenced by the distractions of the world and more attuned to our deeper purpose. Living with purpose also requires letting go of attachments. The Buddha taught that attachment leads to suffering. If we are attached to certain outcomes, possessions, or people, we are constantly looking outside ourselves for fulfillment. But true fulfillment comes from within, and it comes when we align our actions with our values, not when we chase after external things. To truly live with purpose, we must also practice gratitude. When we are grateful for what we have, we recognize the abundance already present in our lives. We no longer feel the need to search for meaning outside of ourselves. Gratitude helps us stay grounded in the present moment, and it reminds us that we have everything we need right now. Living with purpose is a daily practice. It is not a one-time decision, but a way of being in the world. Every day, we have the opportunity to choose our actions, to decide what matters, and to live according to our deepest values. It is easy to get distracted, but with awareness and intention, we can keep our focus on what truly matters. The Zen master once said, "The more we do, the less we become." This means that true fulfillment does not come from doing more things, but from doing the right things with full attention and care. When we live with purpose, we no longer feel the need to rush or multitask. Every action becomes meaningful, and our lives are filled with peace and clarity. Remember, the path is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When you live with purpose, your life becomes a reflection of your highest values. You begin to see the world through a lens of meaning and connection. And as you continue to walk this path, you will find that the journey itself is the greatest reward. So, as you move through your day, take a moment to reflect on your purpose. Ask yourself, what is most important to me? And let your values guide your actions. In this way, you will create a life filled with purpose, peace, and meaning. Recognizing impermanence, shifting perspective, the wind blows, the seasons change, and every moment passes into the next. What seemed important just a moment ago now fades away, just as the sunset disappears into the night. Everything around us, every feeling, every thought, every experience, is in constant motion. This is the truth of impermanence. The Buddha taught us that life is full of change. The joy you feel today will not last forever, and the sadness you experience will eventually pass. But if you hold on to the idea that things should remain the same, you will be trapped in suffering. Impermanence is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is the natural flow of life. Think of a river. The water constantly moves, flowing downstream, never staying still. You cannot step into the same river twice, for the water has already moved on. Your life is like that river. Every moment, a new experience. Every thought, a new wave. But if you cling to any one moment or experience, you stop the flow of life. You stop yourself from growing, from moving forward. We spend so much time trying to hold on to what we think is permanent. We worry about our job, our relationships, our possessions, and our reputation. But when we do this, we are holding on to things that are always changing. Even the most stable part of your life, the one you think will never change, is impermanent. The people you love, the things you own, your body, all are temporary. This truth can feel unsettling at first, but it is also liberating. When you recognize the impermanence of everything, you stop clinging to things that cannot last. You learn to appreciate each moment as it is, without trying to make it stay forever. You stop grasping for control and begin to accept life as it comes. When you let go of your attachment to permanence, you find peace. Imagine a flower blooming in the morning and wilting by the evening. It's beautiful, yet fleeting. If the flower tried to hold on to its bloom, it would never be able to enjoy its beauty fully. It is only when it embraces the impermanence of its existence that it can blossom to its fullest potential. You too are like that flower. The more you accept the ebb and flow of life, the more you can enjoy each moment for what it is. This doesn't mean you should live carelessly or without purpose. It means you should live with an understanding that everything is temporary. You can enjoy your possessions, your relationships, and your successes, but don't mistake them for something permanent. When you let go of your attachment to them, you find that you can live more fully in the present. In Buddhism, we call this understanding of impermanence anicca. It is one of the three marks of existence, along with suffering and non-self. Anicca reminds us that nothing lasts forever. Not our joy, not our pain, not our fears, and not our desires. Everything is constantly changing. When you see the truth of anicca, you stop resisting change. Instead, you flow with it, like a leaf carried by the wind. When you recognize impermanence, you can begin to shift your perspective. You no longer fear loss, because you understand that loss is simply another part of life. You begin to cherish each moment, knowing that it will not last. You stop waiting for something better to come along and start enjoying what you have now. Think about how much time you spend worrying about the future or regretting the past. How many of your days are spent trying to control things that you cannot change? When you recognize that everything is temporary, you realize that it's pointless to worry about things you can't control. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, you start to live in the moment that is right in front of you. In this way, impermanence teaches us how to be present. When you stop clinging to the past or the future, you can finally embrace the now. This moment, the only moment you can truly experience, becomes the focus of your attention. The present is where life is happening, and it is the only place where you can find peace. Recognizing impermanence also helps you understand that suffering is a natural part of life. Just as joy and happiness come and go, so do pain and sorrow. You can't escape pain, but you can learn to face it with the understanding that it too will pass. When you accept the fleeting nature of both joy and sorrow, you can experience life more fully. The highs are not so overwhelming, and the lows are not so devastating. You learn to ride the waves of life with grace. Life, like the seasons, has its cycles. There are moments of growth, moments of decay, and moments of rest. Every stage of life is important. Every moment is precious. And when you accept that everything changes, you can begin to live with greater freedom. You no longer resist life as it is. Instead, you embrace it, knowing that each moment is as it should be. So, how can we shift our perspective to recognize impermanence? Start by paying attention to the changes around you. Watch how the seasons shift, how the leaves fall from the trees, how the sky changes from day to night. Recognize that these changes are natural, and so are the changes in your life. Notice how your feelings come and go, how your thoughts shift, how even your body changes over time. When you observe change in the world around you, you begin to see it in your own life. You can also practice mindfulness to help you stay present. When you are mindful, you are aware of the fleeting nature of every experience. You notice the moment, without judgment, without attachment. This awareness helps you to live more fully in the present, without worrying about the past or the future. It helps you to accept that everything is temporary, and that's okay. Recognizing impermanence is a way of freeing yourself from the grip of desire and fear. When you stop clinging to things that are not permanent, you stop suffering. You realize that life is not about holding on to anything, but rather about experiencing it fully in each moment. Life is not about finding stability in an unstable world. It's about learning to flow with the changes and accepting them as they are. In the end, impermanence is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is the natural rhythm of life, and when you accept it, you find peace. The more you recognize impermanence, the more you realize that nothing in this world is worth clinging to. Let go of your attachments, live in the present, and embrace the ever-changing flow of life. This is the path to true freedom, embracing the journey, a life of meaning. To live a life of meaning is to walk a path that is not always clear, but it is always true. It is to see beyond the surface, to recognize that every moment, every step, is part of a much greater whole. Many of us spend our days chasing after things, believing they will bring us fulfillment, only to find that, like the wind, they slip away as quickly as they came. But true meaning does not lie in the accumulation of things, nor in the achievement of goals. It lies in our ability to be present, to focus on what truly matters, and to embrace the journey with an open heart. In Buddhism, we are taught that the journey itself is the goal. We often think that once we achieve something, once we reach a particular place, we will find peace and happiness. But the truth is, peace and happiness are not destinations to be reached, but states of being that we can cultivate in the present moment. Every moment offers us an opportunity to reconnect with what truly matters, to refocus, and to realign ourselves with our deeper purpose. When we focus on what truly matters, we begin to see life in a new light. We no longer get caught up in the noise and distractions of the world. Instead, we find clarity in the simple, ordinary moments of life. The sound of the wind, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the smile of a friend. These things hold great meaning when we are present to them. The journey, with all its twists and turns, becomes a path of discovery, a path that invites us to grow, learn, and become more fully ourselves. But to walk this path, we must first understand that it is not about control. We cannot control every outcome, nor can we always dictate the course of events. Life, like the river, flows where it will. Our job is not to force the flow, but to flow with it, allowing ourselves to be guided by the currents of wisdom and compassion. The more we embrace the flow of life, the more we find that the journey itself is the very thing that brings us the peace and contentment we seek. Many people struggle with the idea of letting go. We are conditioned to believe that we must always be striving, always be achieving. But in truth, it is only when we let go of our attachment to outcomes that we can truly experience life as it is. We must let go of the need to control every moment, every situation. When we do, we find that life becomes much more spacious, much more open. The pressure to succeed fades away, and we are free to simply be. One of the key teachings of Buddhism is the importance of mindfulness, being fully present in each moment. It is through mindfulness that we can connect with the deeper meaning of life. When we are mindful, we are able to see things as they are, without the distortion of our judgments or desires. We see the beauty in the ordinary, the sacred in the everyday. We learn to appreciate the simple joys of life, to find meaning in our work, our relationships, and even in our struggles. Mindfulness teaches us to let go of our attachments to the past and future. We spend so much of our time either regretting what we have done or worrying about what is to come. But the past is gone, and the future has not yet arrived. All we have is the present moment, and it is in this moment that true meaning resides. When we embrace the present, we are able to see the world with fresh eyes, to experience life fully and deeply. Living with meaning also requires us to live with intention. It is not enough to simply go through the motions of life. We must ask ourselves, what do we want our lives to stand for? What are the things that matter most to us? And once we know what truly matters, we must align our actions with our values. This requires us to make conscious choices, to be intentional in how we spend our time and energy. When we live with intention, we begin to shape our lives in a way that is meaningful and fulfilling. Sometimes, the journey towards meaning involves letting go of things that no longer serve us. These might be habits, relationships, or even beliefs that we have held onto out of fear or attachment. But just as the tree must shed its leaves in the fall to make room for new growth, we too must let go of the old in order to make space for the new. This is a natural process of growth and transformation, and it is one that we can embrace with courage and trust. In the end, a life of meaning is not one that is measured by external achievements or possessions. It is a life that is lived in alignment with our deepest values, a life that is filled with love, kindness, and compassion. It is a life that recognizes the interconnectedness of all beings and seeks to contribute to the well-being of others. When we focus on what truly matters, we find that our lives become richer, more vibrant, and more meaningful. The journey of life is not always easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But these are the very moments that offer us the opportunity to grow. They are the moments that remind us of what is truly important. When we face difficulties with an open heart and a clear mind, we find that we are stronger than we thought, more resilient than we imagined. And through it all, we learn to embrace the journey itself, knowing that it is in the journey that we find true meaning. To embrace the journey is to live with the understanding that every step, no matter how small, is part of something much greater. It is to let go of the need for perfection and to simply allow ourselves to be. We do not need to have everything figured out right now. All we need to do is to keep walking, to keep showing up, to keep living with intention and presence. In doing so, we will find that the journey itself is its own reward. So, let us embrace the journey, with all its uncertainties and challenges. Let us walk the path of life with an open heart and a clear mind, knowing that as long as we focus on what truly matters, the journey will lead us exactly where we need to go. The meaning of life is not something we find at the end of the road, but something we experience in each and every step. And it is in the embracing of that journey that we discover the true richness of life. Embracing the journey, a life of meaning. Ah, dear listener, we have walked a long path together. Step by step, word by word, we have explored how to focus on what truly matters. Now, we have arrived at the final part of this journey. Let us sit for a moment, breathe deeply, and reflect on all that we have learned. For in reflection, wisdom takes root. In this ever-moving world, many chase after success, possessions, and fleeting pleasures. But tell me, what happens when you reach the peak of a mountain only to find it empty? Does the climb still hold value? The truth is this: life is not a destination. It is a journey. And what makes this journey meaningful is where we place our attention, where we focus our hearts. Let us remember the teachings of the Buddha. He said that the source of true peace lies within. The external world will always change. Wealth will come and go, relationships will shift, and even the body will age. But the inner world, the mind and heart, can remain steady when anchored in wisdom and compassion. When you focus on cultivating these qualities, life takes on a deeper, richer meaning. You may wonder, how do I live a life of meaning? The answer, my friend, is simpler than you think. It begins with awareness. Pause and ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What brings joy, peace, and fulfillment? Is it the endless scroll of your phone, the opinions of others, or the pursuit of things that fade? Or is it the quiet moments spent with loved ones, the acts of kindness that ripple through the world, the time you dedicate to growing and understanding yourself? To embrace the journey, one must let go of unnecessary burdens. Imagine you are carrying a heavy bag. Inside are regrets, fears, and attachments to things that no longer serve you. Each step becomes harder because of the weight. What happens if you put the bag down? Do you not feel lighter, freer, more able to walk the path ahead? Buddhism teaches us the beauty of impermanence. Everything changes. This is a law of life. But instead of fearing change, we can see it as a gift. The fleeting nature of life makes each moment precious. When we realize this, we stop wasting time on what doesn't matter. We begin to cherish the present moment, for it is all we truly have. Focus, then, on the present, not on the mistakes of yesterday or the worries of tomorrow. Right here, right now, ask yourself, what can I do to bring meaning to this moment? Perhaps it is as simple as a smile, a kind word, or a deep breath to calm the mind. Small acts, when done with intention, create a life of purpose. Now, let me share with you a simple story. There was once a wise old monk who lived in a quiet village. People often came to him for advice. One day, a man asked, "Master, how can I live a good life?" The monk smiled and replied, "Sweep the floor." The man was puzzled. "Sweep the floor? How does that help?" The monk said, "When you sweep the floor, sweep it with your whole heart. Do it as if nothing else exists. In this way, even the simplest act becomes sacred. This is the secret. Whatever you do, do it fully. Pour your attention into it. Whether you are working, resting, or spending time with loved ones, be there completely. This is how you focus on what truly matters. And now, as we close this journey, let me remind you of one final truth. You are enough, just as you are. The world may tell you to do more, achieve more, and be more. But the path of wisdom is not about adding. It is about letting go. Let go of the need to prove yourself. Let go of the distractions that pull you away from your heart. Trust that when you focus on what matters, life will unfold beautifully. Before we part, I ask you to reflect on this. What legacy will you leave behind? It is not the possessions you own, or the titles you hold that people will remember. It is the love you shared, the kindness you gave, and the lives you touched. These are the things that matter. Finally, dear friends, if this journey has brought you insight, peace, or inspiration, share it with others. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of you subscribe. Please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support helps us continue sharing meaningful content with you. And so, we close this chapter. But remember, the real journey begins now, in your life. With each choice you make, walk the path with clarity, focus, and love. Live not in haste, but with purpose. And may you always find joy in the simple, sacred moments of life. Until we meet again, take care of your mind, your heart, and your spirit. The journey is yours to embrace.